Speaking of the man, there he is right there. He blew me a kiss. I'm a former police officer. I just showed him the weapon on my hip. If I'm uncomfortable, everybody is about to be uncomfortable. If you are a man that sees a woman that has a mean mug on her face and she's not smiling, the first thing that you tell her to do is to smile. You are unconsciously a dangerous man. I'm walking my dog in the park and I see an older man staring at me with a lustful eye. If you are a young black girl, you've probably felt those lustful eyes since you were probably 9 years old, if not younger. I've learned not to run from intimidation. You know, black women, we got that look like, can I help you? But when I looked at him to also assert my authority, he blew me a kiss. As young girls, we had lustful eyes on us. The only thing that we could do, run to our caregiver and let them know we felt uncomfortable, or we just had to go to another aisle in the store and act like we didn't see grown-ass men looking at us. That protective mechanism is a mean mug, something that makes you look big and powerful, because so
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha. It was another minute and 20 seconds of that bullshit. She was saying a whole bunch of gibberish. Ma'am, first of all, you're not a fucking kid. That's first. Two, she talks about if I'm uncomfortable, everybody's uncomfortable. See, this is why they don't need bitches on the force. Like, it's bad enough we got racist dumb cops. Now we got black women with a fucking superiority complex and a weapon. The nigga blew you a kiss. She pointed the camera at the nigga. He was a senior citizen, ma'am. The fact that you felt uncomfortable is actually a reach. Even if you did feel uncomfortable, it's clearly he can't do shit. I don't even know why I was drawing a blank. This shit is so it is so idiotic that I'm stumbling over words, trying to put together and formulate words that actually speak about this stupidity, right? She goes on to say that niggas is giving her lustful eyes. One, that entails that you can read minds. It could be eyes of admiration. It could be friendly eyes. I never understood people that assume what another motherfucker is thinking. If you're a psychic, I would assume that you go get paid doing that, as opposed to being a fucking former cop or whatever blue collar work you do. That clearly doesn't make any sense. Bitch, go play the lottery if you can read minds. Clearly, you know winning numbers. Yeah, it's stupid. Like, okay, maybe they're lusting, but you don't know for sure. In the words of Carlito, you think, you don't know, right? You can't tell what another motherfucker is thinking. They might just be friendly. I remember having a friend tell me, I was like, yo, I went somewhere, and motherfuckers was like, you know, I walk in the spot, and I'm being cordial. I'm friendly. Naturally, I'm a nice person. I don't get cynical until you become a jackass. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, it could be the fact that, you know, when you walk in a place, like, you smile. I said, what the fuck's that supposed to mean? He said, well, when you smile, people might think that you up to something, because people that's up to something usually smile. I said, what type of fucking stupid logic is that? Because I'm smiling, I gotta be up to no good. How about I'm just a friendly fucking person? But as a black person, they don't like that. People don't see that. They don't never peg you as being you can't be a black person and be a friendly motherfucker. You got to be up to some shit, right? I got to be scheming. Meanwhile, that's all white niggas do, and they be the main motherfucker scheming. You know what I'm saying? Nobody says that about a Mexican, an Indian, an Asian man, even though Asian men they not really smiling type. But if they were, nobody would say that they scheming, they up to some shit. Only a black man. I gotta be walking the place, I gotta have lustful eyes. I can't be friendly. I gotta be scheming. I can't be friendly. I gotta be up to no good. I can't just be a fucking naturally nice, polite person. I gotta be scheming like I'm about to rob or steal shit from you. When half you niggas ain't got shit. And when I say niggas, I don't mean just black people. Most people in America, even white folks, ain't got shit. The fuck I'm scheming for? You know what I'm saying? And that's absurd that she even thinks that niggas is looking at her with lustful eyes, because black men ain't leading the league in rape. If a black man is looking at you smiling, bitch, the last thing that's probably gonna happen is rape. Now I'm not saying that black men don't grape. What I'm saying is that's not what we in prison primarily for. We not leading the league in that shit. There's other ethnic groups above us. That's all they do. It's like if this shit was sports, them niggas would be Michael Jordan of that shit. We're more like motherfucking Ben Simmons. Yeah, we might do it, but it's not like that's the we not out here like Steph Curry. Other ethnic groups, niggas is like LeBron of that shit. And that's not me saying. You can look up the FBI crime statistics and index of that shit. They list it out. You see black men smiling. He probably naturally is a nice dude. Then on top of all that, it's like depending on how old the nigga is. If he's in his 40s to 50s and 60s, he ain't talking. The last thing he thinking about tackling you and taking something from you. You sound crazy. Now maybe that white man. I don't know these things. What I do know, they lead the league in that shit, not us. But yeah, the whole like consensus of men is amalgamated into one thing, and I find objection to shit like this because I remember having a woman say that men, the patriarchy is evil and da 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 da, and she was a black woman, and I said, well, the black community isn't patriarchal. That's a fact. There's more single mothers in the black community than it is two-parent households. That's a fact. That's not conjecture. That's not me making this shit about a thin air. If you got a problem with patriarchy, you might want to talk to other ethnic groups, namely the white man, because that's not what the black community is. While you might have an uncle here and an uncle there and a granddad here and maybe somebody got a dad, that's not the consensus. 70% of women in the black community with children don't have a spouse, or he don't live in the house. So that's not coming from us. So like these motherfuckers just be trying to like just conflate all men into one. It's like, bitch, we not all the same. You know what I'm saying? I get so tired of that shit because I had to tell this black woman in my family, yo, you need to make a distinction when you talk about men, because there is certain shit that black men just don't naturally, normally, typically, frequently do. Why you trying to throw that shit on all men? That'd be like trying to throw like athleticism on all men. While there are white men that can play basketball, football, and whatever, they not leading the league and being better. There's more black sports players in football, baseball. Well, it used to be baseball, not no more. A bunch of Dominican niggas, but yeah, it's like saying white niggas is leading the league in basketball and football. That's not the consensus, bro. Upwards of 87% of players on football and basketball are black. We dominating that shit. So you can't. That's not for all men. You got to make a distinction. So, and then as we leave, this right here I seen, it says that a woman sent a text to a nigga after the date and said that I'll read the text. He said, "What's wrong with you?" She said, "What you mean? You had a whole different attitude after I left." She said, "You pulled out a Chime card. We were at a fancy restaurant. That was embarrassing as hell. I've never in my life been with a man that banked with Chime. You're a nice guy, but I was expecting more." Now this nigga had $117,000.93 in his bank account. Why he banks with them and she gives a fuck is beyond me. But I'll just break that down because I do bank with Chime. It's a good damn bank. They offer 3.75% in compounded savings account. They don't hit you with overdraft fees, maintenance fees. Now I ain't gonna lie, the card do look kind of stupid, right? That little white card with the green words on it. Maybe it could be a black card. Maybe make this shit a little heavier. It's plastic as fuck. On the optics, it looked cheap. However, if a nigga got almost $120,000 in the bank and he got a cheap ass card, bitch, the last thing you need to be worried about is the aesthetics of what the card looks like. And once again, this is bitches worried about the wrong shit. She looked the gift horse in the mouth. If I was him, I wouldn't take her on there another date. Matter of fact, I wouldn't ought to block their ass on social media and her phone number. You know what I'm saying? I blocked every avenue. She wouldn't have no direct route back to me because you're judging me based off of the card that I use. When you probably bank with Bank of America and they don't offer 3.75% in compound interest. Just off the interest alone, he stood to make like $3,700 just in entrance at the end of the year. Now you compound that by 20 years. That's all I got to say. I'm actually like speechless after saying all that. That's all I got. In any event, if y'all like this episode, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out. No one's ready to deal with us.